Hey folks, welcome back to Dig Drive DIY. This week's video is sponsored by me and the fine folks that signed up for the Patreon page. It was very humbling to see all of those members joining in, and so I want to thank them very much. Right off the top here, if you're interested, there's a link below and you can go check it out. But that's not what we're here to talk about this week. So Facebook Marketplace is a terrific place for people that hate Chrome to find the people that love Chrome. So as many of you know, about a month or so ago, I bought a new to me pickup truck. It's a 2017 F150. It's got about 207,000 miles on it, but it does have the 5-liter V8, and well, it's in need of a makeover. So I've been collecting parts for the last several weeks. And well, I've done some work on the truck too. It's changed on the inside, and hopefully now it's gonna start changing on the outside, because by the end of this video, I hope it's got a whole new look. I'll also share a little bit of what's been keeping us busy while I waited on some of the work to be done with the truck, but right now, it's time to accessorize.
Dig Drive DIY.
The girls came out and really helped detail the interior. The inside of this thing was absolutely filthy. I really don't know how a person gets the inside of a vehicle this dirty. I mean, really. Inside the cup holders, it looks like they just poured, I don't know, they poured something nasty in there. Anyway, the girls worked feverishly for several hours cleaning the inside. Kara's got it all detailed out. It looks fantastic now. I've got some maintenance stuff to do, like change the oil, and I want to service the transmission. And I've ordered that stuff. I'm waiting for it to come in. I did order the Katzkin leather seat replacements early on. One of my favorite mods to do to an XLT is to put leather seat covers on it. I've done it before. Matter of fact, 4 years ago, I made a really nice tutorial video on how to put Katzkin leather in a truck that has XLT. And so I learned a lot from doing that. I figured it was time to try it again on this truck. So nowadays, the seat covers are a lot more expensive. I think they were $800 or $900 for the leather seats, which is a lot, I know, but I think it's well worth it. Don't have to bother with trying to clean these up. We're just gonna replace them. So I've been driving this truck quite a bit, and so I don't wanna really take it out of service for too long at one time. I'm gonna do the driver's seat first, and then if I have an hour or two every evening throughout the week, I should be able to get this all hammered out. So I'm gonna see if I can get the driver's seat done, see what it looks like, and then I'll just keep knocking off the seats. Fortunately for this one, I don't have to do the center console, which was the biggest obstacle of the last one I did, that XLT with the fold-up lid. This one, don't need to do that. So I watched my own video from 4 years ago on how to do this, and it really helped. You gotta disconnect the wire by pulling the orange thing down, just like that, and then pull the airbag out. So these blue plastic parts of the seat are called the listings, and they're clipped into a groove in the back of the seat right here. You can see that orange snap, and those are very difficult to get the blue out of the orange without breaking it. So what you do is you come down with a razor blade and you just cut this off along the seat, cut the fabric and the plastic listing from the seat, and then just pull the listing out from the clips. It's much, much easier. So this foam is completely shot right here. And on my last truck, I rebuilt the foam. As you can see, it's all falling apart. So there is a nice solution for that. For about $60 on Amazon, you can get a completely new seat base. First thing I need to do though is clean this up. I'm gonna take a chance to get this seat frame all cleaned up. It's really, really nasty. And once I do that, I'll just start putting it back together. So for a couple hours every night, I've been working on those seat covers. They are no more enjoyable than they were the first time I did this 4 years ago, but at least I have a little bit more experience. My fingers are still sore though, but we're getting them done. I've only got one more to do and we're getting closer. I need to make room here in the shop, so I'm gonna start putting the seats back in, and then I'll have one more left to do. And tomorrow I plan to do a service on this and flush the transmission as well. All right, well, I was not planning on having to get these seats in right away like this, but as it turns out, the girls made the state track meet. Ella's going to be pole vaulting down in Terre Haute, which is about a 3-hour drive. And they've asked if we can haul the poles down there for her vaulting. And so I guess we're going to enlist the use of this truck to go down to Terre Haute. But I think before we head down there, I need to do some maintenance. Oil change, transmission flush. So that's what's coming up next. There's Mom. Well, I've headed over here to my mom and dad's to do the maintenance work on this truck because my dad's shop has something that my shop doesn't, believe it or not. I don't think you've ever seen it before. Well, one of the things I discovered about this truck, unfortunately after the test drive was over, is that it has a torque converter shudder at high speeds, like 55 to 60 miles per hour. It's really common amongst these trucks. The 6R80 transmission especially, you'll find that as it's trying to maintain the right speed, the torque converter floats in and out of overdrive, basically, I think. And as it does that, as it shifts, it creates this vibration. It's like kind of like running over a rumble strip on the road. And it does it pretty frequently. I didn't get it up to temperature hot enough probably during the test drive to experience it, but on the way home as I was pulling the Jeep, I definitely started to feel it and notice it. And now it's all I can feel when I drive 55 to 60. It's like standing out like a sore thumb. So a lot of times you can do a transmission flush. You can add an additive called torque shudder, instant torque shudder fix. And I did that and it did reduce it a lot, which tells me that's hopefully a fluid issue. So I'm gonna go to the trouble of trying to flush the transmission. And you can do this by removing one of the transmission cooler lines and letting it drain into a 5-gallon bucket while you put new fluid in through the bottom. But it's a shot in the dark to see if it fixes it. I'm hoping it does and there's not a bigger underlying transmission issue, but we won't know until we try. So this is the first step in trying it before I just throw a transmission in there. Oh!
All right.
I'm okay, just came off the wrong way. Oh man, came off the wrong way. Oh man, oh man. Okay. So the good news is I soaked up most of the oil.
Oh, Neil.
See, most of it's soaked up on my shirt and on my pants. And I got some of it in my hair and my mouth.
Oh my gosh.
See?
Oh, jeez.
So, why they don't put a drain plug in a transmission oil pan is beyond me, but I could have sucked the oil out. I know there's a lot better ways to do that, but it's over with now. So, I'm going to go ahead and change the filter, put the gasket back on, and put the pan back on. We'll move on to the flush. So the idea is you drain the dirty oil out of the pan, put on a new filter, fill the pan up with new clean oil, remove a cooler line in the front, and then the transmission will suck up the clean oil, pump it through the system, and then dump the old oil out the front. You'll have to keep filling the transmission. It could take several gallons to get it all flushed out the system, but cooler line is removed from here. I got a rubber hose attached to it. The rubber hose is draining into a bucket. You can see that the oil is pretty black, so hopefully this will do some good. I'm glad that Dad is here, and we will fire this baby up and see if I got the right line chosen. All right, so we were able to get all the transmission fluid pumped out. I actually went through 5 gallons cycling it through, pumping it in, pumping it out, and that's what everyone said was about right to get it flushed. 5 gallons seems like a lot. It was expensive, but I hope it helps. But that's all done. I just drained the oil, took and swapped out the oil filter for the engine. Gonna fill her back up and hopefully our service work will be done here. All right. Okay, the only thing left to do is to test drive it, and we're gonna do that tonight after our track banquet at our local school. We gotta head down 3 hours south to the state track meet. So we ought to give it a good test. And starts in less than an hour. All right, here's a little update on how the truck is doing. We actually spent the day in Terre Haute, Indiana at the state track meet. The girls did a great job there. So super proud of them. And we're already on our way back home. And the truck has been driving wonderfully. It started out a little rough. I could still feel the torque shudder right after I got it done. We had a 3.5 hour drive down here last night, and about halfway through, I couldn't even tell it was doing it anymore. It seems to be working just fine. I can't even tell anything was wrong. So I am super tickled about that. That was my biggest concern. We're gonna head on back home and then see what else we can get into on this truck. So with an all-new interior and a fresh oil change for both the engine and transmission, I wanted to move on to the exterior. The plan was to make this truck look like my Bronco and F750, and with a budget build in mind, I decided to reach out to a local guy that does wraps on vehicles in his spare time, and I thought this might be the perfect fit for getting the look I want, but at a slightly lower cost. So I dropped it off to Brock on a Thursday night. All right, so you said that you gotta really deep clean this before you can put that vinyl on there, right?
Yeah. Vinyl doesn't stick all that great to, dust, bugs, anything like that. So
Yeah. So it's kind of like a paint job where all the work is in the prep and the planning. And
if something doesn't stick right, it could ruin the whole piece.
Yeah, for sure. Brock's on TikTok, B4 Wraps, if you want to check that out. And if you're local to our area, he's in Payne, Ohio.
Absolutely. Would appreciate
He
it.
could probably hook you up. So,
Absolutely.
Well, thanks a lot. Just let me know when you think you're wrapped up and we'll come get her back.
Will do. Give you a
All
phone
right.
call.
Thanks again,
Appreciate
buddy.
you.
Thank you. All right, so I got the truck dropped off at the wrap place. It was nice meeting Brock. I think that's gonna really set that truck off. And you know what's really handy is being able to tow the Jeep where I need to drop something off. It saves taking someone else along and forcing someone else to commit their time to what you need to do. And then the hardest part for me is waiting. I get very impatient thinking I'm not going to get anything done on the truck for a week. But as it turns out, just like every other week, the time just flies by. And this one started the very next night with a band gig. Well, I drove the Jeep and my cousin Tony pulled my trailer. We're at the Hoagland Hayloft. We've got a band gig here. It's gonna be starting in about 45 minutes. Here's the setup. There's cousin Tony, cousin Janice, cousin Brian, cousin Jason, and neighbor Rick, and Greg on keys. We're gonna do some classic rock and classic country here for the night. We start at 7:30, we're playing till 10:30 or 11. Well, today I'm at the Harlan Park, and for a little bit different reason. We've got the Cove reunion. We come here once a year. Got my family up here from North Carolina and all my cousins that are local. We all gather here at the Shelter House, have some fish, and then we go over here to the big food building where we have a cornhole tournament. It's just a lot of fun. I look forward to it every year. So just thought I'd give you a glimpse into what goes on here at the Cove reunion. Let's go inside. The reunion was a good time, as it always is. I did terribly in the cornhole tournament, as I always do, but regardless, we had fun. And the reunion actually led to a secondary party because a bunch of the kids decided to come out to our house, and we had a little get-together and swim party, which was great fun too. On Sunday, after the swim party, Kara had an idea. Well, it's a beautiful day. We woke up with no real plan for the day, so we decided to install this little flagstone walk next to the building. So the kids that are swimming in the pond have a way to get inside the pool house here without walking on the stones. We got the flagstone path put in, and it's gonna be really nice. I'm never in my bare feet, hardly ever, but I imagine for somebody who likes to walk through the stones, it's gonna be really nice. Monday was a rare calm morning, so Kara and I took an opportunity to address the weeds that are coming up in the driveway. Every time we get a bunch of rain, then it's followed up by a bunch of weeds in the driveway. And a lot of people ask me about this all the time. How do you keep your driveway free of weeds? Well, it's just a lot of work. And yes, we do use some herbicides to target weeds. We try to use as the least amount as possible. We do a lot of manual work first, pulling them out by hand. We always go around the entire perimeter, pull out the big ones by hand. And then for all the tiny ones and the ones that are just getting started, we do a targeted spray application, and it's very effective. Later in the day, I enlisted the help of the girls to try to get the dump truck cleaned up because we were planning a photo shoot on the next day. Watch What's your problem? She just realized I was videoing. That's what she gets for acting like a goofball. All right, I want to see if we can blow the little stones out of here. All right, we got it all finally cleaned up. The girls were getting a little frustrated with me because I was making them redo some things that weren't done quite properly, but I think they're 13 now. They're old enough to learn between a good job and a halfway done job, right? Yeah, so we're working towards that quality employee. All right, but thank you so much for your help. Tuesday came and I was back to work during the day, but that evening was our first tournament ball game. And we decided I'd take the dump truck up to Harlan and we'd get a shot with all the girls with the dump truck. You know, the DDD uniforms happened to just color match perfectly, the DDD dump truck. And well, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. And I want to give a special thanks to my friend Adam with 755 Photography. He did a great job of capturing our team photo. He also got a few nice shots of the dump truck just for me. And we're just lucky to have people like that. You know, people around you that specialize in certain things is always a good asset to have in your back pocket. Fortunately, we won our ball game that night. We were runners up in the league, so we got a trophy for that. And we would have one more tournament championship game on Thursday. But Wednesday, I knew we were gonna have a little get together for Father's Day coming up on Sunday. I wanted to get a load of stone for the driveway so I could do a fresh topping. And Wednesday at lunchtime, noon, was gonna be my only chance to get over to the quarry. So I cleaned out the bed of the dump truck, got whatever dirt out of there that was left, and I took off for the quarry. All right, I made it here to the quarry. I think these are number 11s. These are the finer stone that we have on our driveway. Not very big, a lot of fines. I brought that load of 11s home after work and got home and found out that we had a new member of the family, I guess you would say.
Drop it off at Grandma and Grandpa Miller's?
No. It's ours. I saw it.
I think Grandma and Grandpa Miller.
I knew it. I saw it up here and I'm like, guys, do you guys see that? It's something black.
How do you say no to that?
Where was this guy?
By the bridge, kind of. On the side of the road. Beyond the bridge.
So you found it on the side of the road? For real?
Where there were no houses.
Just sat there crying.
All right, I guess we got another new cat. Now we're into Thursday, and right away, straight after work, we went to our championship ball game. And I tell you what, this was the best game of the entire season. We had the lead for the majority of the game, and it was looking great. The girls played terrific, but as it turns out, in the bottom of the 6th inning, Hoagland made a run on us, and they beat us by 1 run in the bottom of the 6th, 11-10. Nevertheless, we had a terrific season. I'm super proud of the girls. It was fun, and I can't wait to do it again next year. Okay, I'm on my way to pick up my truck. Oh man, that is bold. That is bold. It sticks out, and it's very bold. Okay, I've got the Jeep hooked up. I'm towing it home with the pickup right now. I'll tell you, I like the black. I'm not so sure about the yellow. We went with a wide yellow stripe, and I have thoughts. I have to change the wide yellow stripe. Hey, well, I got that truck back to the shop here, and I did just sit out here and look at it one night, and it didn't take me long to agree with myself and decide that the yellow stripe that I had Brock put on there, that's what I had chosen. It was too big, too thick, and it's not quite the right color. It doesn't really match the dump truck. So here's what the truck looks like. It looks a lot different, and this is pretty much the look I'm going for. It's gonna look like the Bronco, although the look is not complete until the wheels and tires are on there. That'll change everything. Plus some of the chrome accessories I'm gonna add too. But for right now, I'm gonna try peeling off this yellow stripe, and hopefully it does not damage the black wrap underneath. And if I can get that off of there, then we'll move on to the next step. It is coming off easily. So the worst part is that I've never done any pinstriping before, so it'll be interesting to see if I can even do it. The people on the internet make it look easy, which is usually a sure sign that it isn't, because they've got enough time inexperienced to feel comfortable filming themselves doing it. You're going to get to see a complete novice try it though. Probably wondering why I even did the 3/4 inch yellow stripe in the first place. Well, I thought that, you know, the dump truck has quite a bit of yellow striping or piping on it. And I thought, well, this would be a way just to get some yellow on this truck and not have to do quite, you know, the extent to which we did it on the dump truck. But I don't know, once I saw them both sitting next to each other in the same building, it was pretty obvious that this wasn't a good enough match to that. So it wasn't Brock's fault. This is what I told him to do. So I'm just gonna see if I can DIY the repair and not subject him to doing it again. Sorry. It's just a little bit too bright of a yellow too. All this stuff is fortunately, should be easier to do since the wrap hasn't been on there for years at a time. It sat out in the sun, I think, one day before I picked it up, but. All right, I got my work cut out on me in getting that adhesive off of there, but then I ordered a couple different colors of 1/4 inch pinstriping and a couple different choices. And I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use yet until I hold them up to the dump truck and get a solid match. And once I get that done, then I've got wheels and tires and a lift kit and all them chrome parts you saw me unload at the beginning of the video. That's all gotta go on here too. So I got another solid week of work and effort to put into this thing. But for now, I'm gonna leave you with it like this and wondering what shall it be when I'm done. I'm hoping it'll change a lot yet. Until then though, I wanna thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you liked it, and if you're interested in the Patreon page, go check it out over there, and if I'm lucky, I will see you in the next one. Take care.